Well, I want to pass on another good idea. This is actually an air rifle. It's a single shot, and I see I have it broken open, right? And it just uses these 177 pellets. Okay, very small, but this one will do about over 1,000 feet per second. But it's 1,000 feet per second with a very small projectile, and as you can see, these puppies are small. But they're still powerful. But we know what's cool about this thing. It's quiet. It's not that loud. I mean, it's not like totally silent. It makes like almost like a little cap going off. Now, what I put on it is but what I was saying is like, say, survival. And this is fun, too. Actually, you can use this for target shooting. It's cheap as all hell to shoot. Way cheaper than a 22. Let's say survival. And you got rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that, and there's no food. Well, this thing would work. This thing would actually work pretty good. Not as good as a 22, but it's pretty quiet. It's very simple. It's very cheap. It's very reliable. And this one's actually made in Germany, so it's a good one. It's a good one. It's got a wood stock on it, stuff. Safety, just like a regular rifle. And I use a 22 scope. I used a cheap 22 scope. I think it's a lot cheaper to use that versus using an air rifle scope. A scope that's made for a 22 rifle is made plenty strong enough for an air rifle, beyond anything. So it's actually a lot, like, in other words, when you buy scopes for rifles, you want to make sure it can handle recoil. And I just snapped it shut, right? You want to make sure it can handle recoil. So a 22 scope is actually the smarter way to go with this, and I think it's, I forgot what power it is, but it works great. The other thing is, if you notice on the bottom here, I got see-through mounts, right? See-through mounts. In other words, I can look under the scope to the sight, right here, the sight and the other sight, which has a nice hooded sight you can look through. So, like, a lot of times you can line it up like that, but this thing will nail stuff 50 feet away, in a small circle. I forgot exactly what the grouping is, but it's within 6 inches. No problem. Easily. And it's got a lot of power out to like more than 50 feet, actually. Easily. So, in a total, survivalist situation, there's no food, and there's always rabbits and squirrels. You might be able to take them out with these damn things. And, it's cheap, it's simple. These things aren't too much money. There's a lot of no muss, no fuss. And if you want to go target shooting with them, they're quite obviously, a whole pile of these damn things. You get 500 of them. They're like hardly nothing. It's caliber 177. Very cheap. So, but you put one in at a time, and it's simple. You cock the weapon for one shot at a time, but it's 1,000 feet. It's over 1,000 feet per second on this puppy. So if you get a good one, I don't recommend the ones you use with the air cartridges too much, but a lot of people like those. But this one, where you have to cock the weapon each time, extremely reliable. You don't want to dry fire it; that could ruin the mechanism. You want to use it always. If you fire it, you want to use a pellet behind it. But it's something that you can keep on hand. And can very much be in a flat-out emergency. There's no food. It could be a squirrel and rabbit gun. So hey, why not, right? I mean, if you got no food, what are you gonna do, right?